Executive Director of the Northeast HERS Alliance, and Tim is our technical director who came on within the last month or so. He will be running the program and doing some curriculum development and such for us. So you have a note taker. I can go ahead and admit the note taker. Great. So first question for you is, do you mind if we record this just for our own internal purposes?
That's fine.
Yeah. Okay, great. So I'm going to be taking some notes here on my end as well as we go through some questions. So I'm going to go ahead and record. And let's see here, start recording. Great. So could you please tell us how to pronounce your name? Is it Darwin?
Yeah, it's supposed to be like the evolution theories, Charles Darwin, like Darwin, like that.
Oh, okay.
But it's spelled differently. They messed it up when I was born, and I kept it like that. and now my son is named after me with the same mistake, which I was supposed to correct. Isn't that what we're supposed to do with our kids? But I kept it. It's intentional now, so he's got the Dargin name, but it's Darwin. Yeah.
Darwin.
Okay, great. Well, it's excellent to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
So, we have a bunch of questions to run through here, and we'll go as quickly as we can. But I want you to feel free to stop and ask questions that you may have. We want you to feel like you have the information that you need about the program as well. And at the very beginning, I need to just say that we are going to collect a bunch of data because this is a grant-funded program. And so we need to ask up front, do you agree for us to use the data that we collect for grant purposes? Is that all right?
Yeah, that's
And
fine.
it's always aggregated. It's never individual.
That's fine.
Okay, great. And then for the program itself is going to run for the next couple of months. And then we need to track how students do in their careers after taking the training. So is it workable for you to stay in touch with us for 6 months after the training is over, assuming you get in? Yeah. Okay, great. All right. Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and maybe a little bit about your essay question and the award that you won? Congratulations on that, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah. So Darwin Fortuna, originally born in the Dominican Republic, came to the States in 2010. I had studied architecture back in the Dominican Republic, but I had to transfer and start basically over. Didn't speak a word of English, so that was a good one to pick up rather quickly. And then moved through that process of school, learning the language, assimilating the culture, and worked at several architectural offices where I felt a little bit like a misfit, and then decided to kind of like open my own practice with another crazy friend. Now we're 14 people here at Flow Design Architects, and basically our focus is to increase diversity in the field of architecture and design, where people don't feel like misfits anymore because we are all just the way that it is, like that's the norm. And so through the last, I got licensed in 2018. I finished school in 2016, so that was quick. It takes about 5 years to get licensed, but I did it quickly. We started to kind of craft a way of creating that diversity and changing the pipeline, and we found that it was very rewarding to go to schools like preschools, middle schools, high schools, colleges, and talking to people about architecture and kids. And that was fun. So then we enrolled into it was basically an award, a film that you had to create for 3 minutes, and we got that award as the People's Choice Award. So we basically told the story of what we've been doing ever since before people even said the word diversity. Like we were actually writing about this stuff back, like as long as I can remember. So then it became cool, and then we won that award, of course. And that opened a lot of doors. And then I compiled all of that, plus all my architectural work, into a long document that I had to submit to the AIA for the Young Architect Award. They typically pick one per state. They ended up picking like 8 from Massachusetts because we just happened to be, who we are. But it was like 33 only that they picked from the entire country. So I was one of those. and it was awesome. It was in DC that we went to pick up the award, and my dad was there, who had just landed the States in March, so that was cool. So
Yeah.
June to go get an award. And that's, I guess that's a long story short of my, short version of what we do. And that segues into why I'm here too, by the way, because so since we are like diversity, I see it as an ecosystem. It's not just like one thing or another. It's all of things working together. So
Yeah.
Flow, we started to think about energy a while back, but we didn't know what to do about it. Like what's going on. So the code started changing, thank God. So it pushed us through, and as of like 3 months ago, we decided to implement the AIA framework for design excellence, which is 10 principles that basically every building should have, but they put it into words. When you put a label on it, then you're forced to have to act. So a lot of them are designed for energy, designed for change, designed for like all of these different concepts. And for Flow to become very good at educating the public, but also implementing these concepts, we had to walk the walk and talk the talk. So I thought, well, I need to become a hearse rater. None of my contractor Latinos know how to do this stuff. They don't understand this stuff. And I need to really be good at this stuff so that I can show them how it's supposed to be done, right? Like, here's a door blower test. This is what it is. This is,
Yeah.
what are the options for additions over 1,000? Because I don't want people to just do 900 square foot additions either. It's like, come on,
Right.
like we got to start implementing all of these different things. And that's just the right thing to do. So I started doing some work in my own house too, decarbonizing it and going through that whole process. And it's been fun. It's a historic home. So then going full circle, like, okay, someone's got to preach the gospel of energy here at Flow. And I asked everybody here, like, people should try to do it, but they weren't really that interested. So I was like, okay, I'm going to have to be the guinea pig that starts this process and does it, literally does it. Because we have a lot of developer clients and contractor clients. Sadly, a lot of them think that because you know how to swim hammer, you know how to make a performing building, and that will pass the codes, and it's not like that. It requires a lot, and it's not the same. And sometimes I sound a little racist, but I'm like, if you just crossed the border yesterday, you're not gonna be able to build here today. I'm sorry. It's just not the way it is, right? So but I don't want to be demeaning. I just want to say, here is how it's supposed to happen. Let's do it, right? So I'm learning a lot, and I'm friends with a lot of hearse raiders too. And like, they were like, sure, go ahead and do it. We hire a lot of them too, so I'm like, sure, I need to know, how to get from point A to point B and teach it ultimately, which is what I would like to do. Like, at least
you would like to be able to become a trainer?
Yeah, because again, if you just don't knowing this stuff for yourself, what's the point of it? It's everybody. It's an ecosystem. Like, this is the norm.
Yeah.
It should be the norm. We shouldn't be trying to change the code to have a higher number. It should be lower. It's like, come on. So that's that. And I'm friends with a lot of inspectors. I go to the building inspectors and commissioners meetings within the North Shore area. So like this, I go to a lot of those meetings too, and they don't know a lot of the stuff too. So I'm like, as an architect, I feel like I have to. They enforce the code. I interpret the code and we design to it. So we kind of, contractors, architects, inspectors, like we have to all talk the same talk, really.
Yeah. Great. Just taking notes here. That's great. Thank you for all of that. So what's the highest level of math that you completed? You're an architect, so you must have completed a pretty high level of math.
Yeah, I don't know how to explain it though. I mean, I can size structures, so I think it was 3 structural classes, so I can size, like, for 1, 2, and 3 family buildings. I can calculate everything when it comes to the members and beam sizes, post sizes, footing sizes, foundation sizes. So I'm not quite.
So you're comfortable. You're comfortable with things like finding the finding the area of a triangle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Great. So Tim, I think we were going to skip the math section.
Yeah, we're going to skip the math.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
And so I also wanted to double check something from your application that your household size is 7. Is that correct?
Yeah, so my dad just came, not working, in March. Then my significant other has a daughter, and I have 3 little ones too.
Okay.
So that's all of us. So it's
Okay, great.
what, like mine's, hers, and soon it's gonna be ours because we're working on having one together. We don't have a child
Nice.
together, so it's like
Okay. All right. Well, I wish you well with that.
we're working on it.
And your household income is about 100,000. Is that right?
Well, I think between me and her, it's probably slightly more than that. I was just mostly putting me.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Okay.
she actually earns like $15 an hour. So that's what
Say that again.
she earns $15 an hour out of daycare.
Okay. All right. So, and that was going to be my next question for you: is what is your hourly wage or annual salary?
So I always use the number 100 in every credit card application, but I really don't know because that's what I end up getting. So that would end up being about $48 an hour.
Okay. Okay. And do you have your OSHA 10 training?
No, I haven't done that.
Okay. Because that would be something we would have you do just so that you could be out in the field on construction sites, because there would be some field work. And have you worked on a construction site before?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My dad is also a master builder too. He's just not working now, but I've always
Okay.
been involved with construction. Yeah.
Cool. And then I assume, being an architect, you're familiar with terminology like stud, glazing, rim joist, and header. Yes. So
That's right.
great.
I put it on my drawings.
Yeah.
Right.
So, great. All right. And then, how on a scale of 1 to 10, how comfortable do you feel talking with people from different backgrounds?
Very well.
Okay.
10.
And if somebody were on a job site and they told you that the temperature in the house just dropped by 30 degrees, what do you think could have happened?
Like suddenly dropped by 30 degrees?
Mm-hmm.
Well, there are a couple of things that could happen. The whole system shut down, like the whole
Mm-hmm.
heating system, cooling system. So all the windows and doors were open. That could be another one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's all I can think of.
Okay, great. Perfect. Can you tell me about a time where you're at school or work and you noticed that someone was doing something that didn't seem right? How did you handle that situation?
School or work and noticed someone was doing something that wasn't right. I mean, I mark up everybody's drawings here at the office, so I always see things that ain't right. But I'm their mentor, so it's a little bit different. Like I sit down and explain to them, here's how I would approach X, Y, and Z, and they all listen because they know I know how to do the sections and the details a little bit better. So it's different. I don't know what the context will be. Like if it's stealing, that's one thing. If it's reviewing drawings that are wrong, it's from a mentorship perspective. But if it is like, and I'm a father too, so it's like it's just weird. There's multifacets to this thing, right? Like if it's my son hitting my daughter, right? Like it's one situation. Or if it's it changes by the context, to be honest.
Okay.
But honestly, like I try to build rapport within the team and understand their perspective a little bit. And like there's one thing I learned in my previous marriage, which was to check your 3 boxes. So it's like if somebody says something like that may have triggered you, so before going into that trigger, you first say, do you mean X? And then you check that. It's like, oh no, it may end right there because they just clarify what they meant, right? Or you continue with another one if that one was an X. Say, could you elaborate on that, right? Like and look more deep. And then if it sounds like a dog and looks like a dog and it is a dog, then generally, yeah, you believe it to be a dog. But don't always just assume the first impression of what was said. I used to be kind of generally triggered by certain things. I'm not violent, but like very like be careful how you speak, right? Like be careful how you refer to things. So that said, and my significant other was really triggered. She was She was really triggered by almost anything. So I learned to check my boxes, and that's how I approach almost every situation. Maybe they just don't really know, right? And that's okay.
Okay, great. Thank you. And so it sounds like you have a lot of experience working independently, given that you've, created your own company and taken on diversification of the workforce yourself. Can you tell me about a time where you've had to do a lot of things that needed to get done, but didn't have a supervisor? What was that like for you to have to work on your own?
Yeah, but 99% of the time I don't have a supervisor. I'm a principal, so I I just put things on my list and go one by one and check them all off, right? Like just do my to-do list. It's like a robot almost, right? Like it's not even if I feel like it or how I woke up today. It's more like I have a duty to do it and I just get it done. Really, I'm almost like the army. Just go and do it. Yeah. That's it.
Okay, great. So you're not currently in school, but you are currently working full time. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And let's see here. And you're full time, and then so your current schedule is it a typical 9 to 5 work week for you?
It is. It is. The way I would see this training is that it is a benefit to everyone here. So I'll have to do it within the time that needs to be done. Yeah.
Yeah. And so business hours, do you have any flexibility? Like if we were going to send you out into the field to do some job shadowing for HERS readers, do you have availability during a business hour work week? Okay.
Yeah, I just schedule it. If I know with time in advance, I just schedule it. And again, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
Yeah, please go ahead, Tim.
No, go ahead, Tim.
Your HERS Raider friends, would they be willing to take you out on a couple of jobs? Do you think?
I asked, and I always forget how to say his name. He's from A9. He was okay with it. He said, but he's so busy. He's giving lectures nationwide now too. So it's like,
okay, so he's not in the field a lot.
No, he does have others within his office, but
that would probably work. I mean, if you shared their name or company, and I could communicate with their field staff. Uh-oh, are you still there?
I'm here.
Oh, I thought you froze for a moment. I thought you froze.
No, I went to look for their information.
It's not critical or crucial right now. We have others, but I'm always willing or looking for more field staff to help our students. I think the field work is far more important. That's where all the work is.
Mm-hmm.
There is certainly classroom work, which we will doing intensively every day for weeks, and then but the field work is far more important. You just need to know how to do these things. So yeah, it's not critical, so don't worry about it right now, but I was just curious to know.
Yeah, his name is Bijan Koshraviani.
Okay, Bijan
from A9 Green, but yeah, he's awesome. I like him a lot.
That's great.
I guess Betsy knows him then.
I'm glad you have a connection with him. That's great. So in the event that we ever planned a field trip or event on a Saturday or Sunday, which we do not currently have planned, but in case we decide that we need to do something on a weekend, do you have any availability to attend something on a Saturday or Sunday?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Great. And then do you have any plans for vacation or holidays during September or October or November this year, or any other reason you would miss class during that time?
There is my grandma's birthday is coming up this September, so there's a little reunion coming up at the middle of September. It falls on a Saturday, but yeah.
Okay, great.
Our classes are likely going to be in the evening, so 5 to say 7. So I don't know if it's possible.
Well, that depends which track he's in too, right? So
oh, well, that's true. I guess
this is the next question is your overall goal, Darwin, is it are you wanting to become an RFI, a modeler, or HERS rater, or are you interested in taking all 3 classes? Like, what's your overall goal in terms of the training?
So nowadays, I'm being asked a lot for public work to have like a model, like a energy modeler. And we haven't been able to find a lot of, like, there's phase 0 design, but they're super overbooked. So So I would want to do all of that stuff, to be honest, because there's just
You would want to do all 3 classes?
Yeah, there's just no subs or consultants or anyone that I know that I could call.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, you may be,
Because
it
we
may be
could-
actually better to throw them straight into the HERS rating. You and I can talk about this, Betsy.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Because so there's 3 different schedules for the different classes. So the RFI training will run from the end of September until the end of November, and that class will run from 5 to 7 in the evenings. So that is, one certification that is possible to get. And that's sort of the most basic entry level that gives you lots of hands-on time in the field and really time to sort of digest and process the building component of it. That may be very basic and elementary for you, given your level of experience as an architect. The modeler training is not a set class time every day. The modeler training we're calling self-paced, meaning that you're going to go through the modules on your own time, and then you'll have regular contact with our staff and Tim, and there'll be a lot of touch points, but it's more sort of structured according to your own schedule. And then the HERS Rater training is our regular HERS Rater training, which is coming up in October. That training runs for 2 weeks from 9 to noon every day, plus Wednesdays 1 to 4. And then there's a week break, and then there's what we call the field week. And the last 3 days of that are in the field. That'll be in Worcester. So that's not, so that's out on your end of the state, not on my end of the state. But what we're looking at is, trying to get people a lot of experience with either the RFI training or the modeler training so that they are well equipped to take the HERS Rater training. And that was what Tim was just saying. You may be well equipped at this point to jump straight to the HERS Rater training. So,
yeah, the thing is, I do want to be able to, when we go to for public work, like, it's a requirement. And I have done a lot of modeling. I love all of these softwares, but I can't say I'm a energy model. Like, I need some way to actually justify, just like I know how to use CAD and Revit, but I don't have a certificate, right? Like, I don't have anything that says it. I just have been using it my entire life. So having something that says yes to the state when I go after those, which are very difficult projects to get, it would be nice to have, like, here it is. I got this energy modeling certificate.
Okay.
Are you interested in actually doing blower door and duct testing, or just the concept of how it works and what it's for?
I would do a lot of them. The clients.
You would actually like to have the equipment and do it yourself? Okay.
Yeah.
The clients might be better.
Yeah, the clients are they're all stock, and I want to be able to help them. I would select an amount. Like, it wouldn't be my everyday thing, but I would select an amount per year, and I would be like, yep, I'll take these projects and I'll get them done.
From right from the beginning to the end, all the inspections, all the modeling, and then the uploading. You do know that to upload a project, you'll need a provider, which is a Resnet accredited company that will do QA assessment on each of 10% of your ratings that you upload, and they are the ones that upload it to Resnet or whatever program. So you're not going to have direct access to it. So as a rater, you will need to find a provider. That any HERS is not a provider at this time. That's just something that you need to be aware. I don't want to, like, get you all the way through it and you dump you out at the other end, and then you're like, great, I'm a HERS rater. Well, you are, except you can't load straight to Resnet to make these. You actually need a provider, and I don't know what they charge, but there is a fee. I believe it's a fee per rating, so it's not like I don't really know, honestly. So let's just leave it there.
Yeah, yeah. But there is a list on the Resnet website, I think, of all the providers, because I was looking into all of them. So I was like reading through all of them. Yeah. Again, there are not many. I hope that changes, but yeah.
Yeah. So there are. We can help guide you to try to find a provider that would work with an independent rater. So in terms of your trajectory, you're going to continue as an architect, and you're going to add this into your business. Is that right? You're not looking to leave becoming an architect to become a HERS rater. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. And so that means that you're going to, like, augment your offerings. So we would need to be able to track, for the grant purposes, sort of how having this training has enhanced your business. So just as an FYI, increased revenue, things like that, we would need to be tracking as part of the grant contract.
And that's reporting from Darwin. We're not delving into your books.
Correct.
You're
No,
just
no,
going
no,
to say, "Hey,
it's your self-reporting back to us that such and such increase in revenue has happened because you've been able to learn all of this."
right.
So
We're not forensic accountants or anything like that.
No, no, we just it's self-reporting.
Yeah.
Do you have any accessibility needs that you would need us to accommodate in terms of being able to participate successfully in the program?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
No. Sometimes there's people
All right.
that speak too fast, but I speak too fast. So
Speak slowly.
But you're able to walk up and down stairs, possibly a small step ladder or something like that.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay.
So the RFI training schedule is from 5 to 7 weeknights. Is that a time frame that you'd be able to come to consistently?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then for the modeler training, that's self-paced for 2 months. Do you have any concerns about managing getting through the modules on your own without attending class regularly?
Nope, no problem.
Okay. And then the HERS Rater training starts in October, so that's October 28th to November 8th. And then the field week is the 18th to the 22nd of November. Do you have any concerns about attending that class consistently in terms of timing? Obviously, you wouldn't be in all 3 of those classes. We'd have to figure out where we're going to start you. But all right, great. So this is skilling.
So, Darwin, did you say you've actually done some models? You've used Ecotrope or RemRate already?
So, no, we use some other like plugins to our software to do the modeling. It's not none of those. They basically help us map the facades and the envelopes of our buildings, but it's not. So it's not. They're not that different, but I haven't used the other ones, so I don't know. So they're not generally that different. There's some that you turn into SketchUp and you have a plugin and you connect them. So, and I'm good with those software. So I think that whichever modeling software is used, I will pick it up right away.
I believe you will too. Ecotrope is not that difficult to use. And it sounds like you'll breeze right through it. So I was just curious. That would actually be another step up. You're already a couple of flights up in terms of steps up right now. So that's great. Thanks.
So do you have reliable transportation to get around to going out to job sites and such?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, great. And are you willing to carpool with other students in the program if needed?
That's fine.
Yeah. Okay. And I assume you have a good, reliable computer and Wi-Fi for the online training, yes?
Yeah.
Okay, great. And are you responsible for watching children, either your own or other people's, that may, if there's a sickness or something that would pull you out of the training, that we should just be aware of in terms of?
Maybe.
Maybe. Okay. Great. And then, is your current housing situation, where are you currently living, and is that a stable housing situation?
Yes, it's stable. It's in Leominster.
I remember you said it was a historical building that you're doing. That's really cool. And do you have any difficulties making your rent payments or mortgage payments?
No, I mean, this month was tight. This was one tight month. I haven't had a tight month in a while, but yeah, often is not a problem.
Okay, great. And do you plan to relocate at all in the next 6 months?
Mm-mm.
No. Okay. And job placement isn't really the issue for you because you're running your own business. So I'm skipping that. Do you have proper attire for being on a construction site? So that's like pants for, protecting your legs, sturdy shoes with safety toes, hard hat, vest, safety glasses, things like that?
Yep.
Yes. Okay. All right. And the RFI position in particular, and somewhat the HERS Rater as well, it can be a physically demanding job. Are you comfortable for standing long periods of time?
Yeah.
Okay. And carrying equipment that's up to 40 pounds?
That's fine.
Yeah. Okay. And climbing a ladder that's up to 8 feet high?
That's fine.
Okay. And do you have a fear of heights?
No.
Okay, great. Um, let's see. Do you have any concerns about working a physically demanding job?
No.
Okay. And do you have any concerns about, for the modeler component, do you have concerns about working at a desk for long periods of time?
No, I spend all day.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Can you tell me about a time where you worked with a team of people to get a difficult job done?
Well, we did an 18 unit building in Lynn that required coordination between structural, mechanical, fire protection, the owners. And there was, that's the one I always think of. There was a situation where some structural calculations were not included within the contract, and the client demanded that it was supposed to be part of the base contract, and it was stuck. So I called all of them to come to our office, and we all sat down. And I kind of acted like a mediator,
Mhm.
but the contract with the structural was under me because I was the architect hires all the subs. So basically, if
Mhm.
something went wrong, I still had to pay some money. So and everybody came to a conclusion, and we got it done. But it was not easy. It was very 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 difficult to settle that situation there. The project is ever since approved and
Hmm.
99% built now. In fact,
Wow.
most of everybody is there today because they're doing some as builds for the condo documents for each one of the condo units that are being done. So, but it was a tough one. It was a tough one for real.
It sounds like it. And it reminds me of what you had helped me with some of the logistics on our website with the application that you are a problem solver. So I
That's right.
appreciated that,
I
and
like
I
that
did note
stuff.
that.
I like that
Yeah.
stuff, like finding difficult situations and problems and solving them. Sometimes I wonder if I'm in the right field, but it's like, well,
Well,
I
there's
always,
lots of problem solving in the HERS rating industry, that's for sure.
yeah,
So, all right. So we just got a couple other questions to go here. Do you face any financial hardship that makes it difficult to pay for transportation costs, food, or utilities?
no,
Okay. And would you want to apply for the stipend training of this program? It's income based. So,
I don't know if I will qualify, but
okay. Yeah, I'm not sure if you would either. But we can look at that and see if you do. Um, and then we already talked about why you applied for the program. Is there anything else you want to say about why you want to be in the industry?
I mean, as I said earlier, there's not many that could even translate it to Spanish to other people that only speak Spanish to, and there is a big portion of my clients and contractors that either only
Mhm.
speak Portuguese or Spanish, which I can communicate at both, and that's gonna open that gap, like bridge that gap
Yeah.
between all of, because then there are gonna be a lot of issues. Honestly, like I'm ultimately looking into the future, and I was
Yeah.
talking to Bijan about the fact that there's gonna be a lot of lawsuits because when people don't call you for the meat inspection and you don't do it and they don't pass, and then owners are gonna be upset because they don't get a certificate of occupancy. So I'm like, we got it. I'm not a superhero, but I think we need more hands. We need more frontline workers, I would say, right on this.
Absolutely.
So to solve those problems before they even happen.
Hmm.
And now it's moving fast. All these permits that
Yeah.
are being issued, it's moving fast. So they need to pass all these inspections. So a lot of patience and a lot of I teach every day because that's what I do here. Like I'm always teaching. So
Hmm.
being able to guide them and teach them and translate it to them,
Yep.
it's gonna be very, very much more important than the financial like ramifications of this because we just want smooth jobs and we just want to get the job done. Right? We don't want them to be stuck.
Right. Okay, great. And are you comfortable being paired with a career mentor for the program? That's part of what you get in the program is to have somebody that's knowledgeable that can help guide you.
That's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then, yeah, so the employer placement is not really relevant for you because you have your own company and you're looking to grow your company. So we won't go into the employer placement. So that's our list of questions. Is there anything that you would like to know that we've touched on that is there anything you would like to ask us that you would like to know about the program?
No, I mean all of this has been good. The website was very instrumental. Your emails have been very instrumental. So the process was good,
Great.
except for that glitch with that
Yeah.
situation on the website. But everything's been
Yep.
it's been good. So I'm looking forward to learning more. I do have a YouTube channel where I teach a lot of people. So I want
Okay.
to like eventually probably tell people my experience. Like, look, the process is this
Yeah.
way. You go through this interview. Like
Yeah.
a blogger, right? Like I do a lot of
Yep.
that. So I would want
Yep.
everybody here, like at the office and beyond, to get encouraged, because like increasing diversity isn't just like you got to become an architect. No, it means you can be a hairdresser, you can be a framer, you can be a plumber, you can be, it's like all of this field can grow, and like being able to create awareness. This process can be very scary to people. Filling out paperwork, oh my gosh, most people
Yeah.
hate filling out paperwork. That's why attorneys make so much money, because that's what they do. They fill out paperwork. So being able to demystify and say, look, to become a hairdresser, here's the process. To become a modeler, here's the process. That's a highly rewarding job. Maybe my son doesn't want to be anything like that, although he has my name, but he could be a hairdresser, or he could be a modeler, and he could work with me every day. So that's fun.
Yep. How old is your son?
He's 11.
Okay.
He's just getting started.
Our age limit is 18. He's got a few more years before we could take him in the program, but that's exciting, father and son. Great. So Tim, do you want to talk a little bit about, before we let Darwin go, Darwin, what's your preference in terms of placement, in terms of where to start? And I mean, is the RFI training interesting to you? Would you prefer to start at the modeler level, or would you rather jump straight to the HERS Rater training?
I don't know. I mean, I would like the modeler, like I mentioned, just to get that out of the way and know what's needed. The ultimate goal is to become a HERS Rater. So if there are like stepping stones in that direction, maybe the modeler and then the HERS.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. How long does the modeler take? It's self-paced.
That's the self-paced one. So it's as quickly as you move through the modules. We're giving people about 2 months, but you could probably get it done in less. Although it wouldn't be. So if you did modeler this fall, the timing would not line up for you to then go straight into HERS Rater this fall. It would be modeler this fall, and then if you moved on to HERS Rater, that would probably be the winter. It would be January, February to do the next Rater training in 2025.
So could I switch him? Could I do the HERS and could I do the modeler later? Because the HERS is more time sensitive, and the modeler is more self-paced. Right?
That's a good question. Tim would have to talk about that. Because basically the modeler is going to be a deep dive into the modeling, and then that's going to set you up well to do the HERS Rater training. Because you learn the modeling in the HERS Rater training, but the HERS Rater training is a much faster pace, and the amount of time, like there's just, there obviously they teach you how to do the modeling, but it's not as in-depth as the full modeling training. So.
Or the RFI. That's why I asked if you actually wanted to do actual testing.
Yeah.
There are plenty of HERS raters out there that are certified HERS raters and have done, just enough testing to be certified, but they don't really go in the field very frequently. They obviously know what it means and what the results mean and how to plug them into the model. That's a whole part of the job, but they're not out there every day. RFI training is that. There's classroom work, obviously. You need basic understandings of heat flow and how depressurization or pressurization will work in a dwelling, for example. But the most important part to me is hands-on in the field doing the actual testing. So modeling is almost the opposite. They still have to go out in the field and, again, get the idea of what this stuff does. But they don't really have to know how to do it very, very well. But the modeling is intensive. You're sitting on the chair, you're sitting in the chair, and you're just doing all this computer work, and you're getting fed information from the field. HERS Rater is both. It's an intense, you need to know how to do testing, and you need to know how to do modeling. When I started as a HERS Rater, I did everything from beginning to end. I did the projected ratings, I did all of the inspections and the testing, and then I did the confirmed ratings, and then I uploaded it to our QA person. So that's what a HERS rater is. Now, to me, you could easily, based on speaking to you and your experiences and everything, you could easily go straight through the HERS rating process without issue. The only question is, would you benefit from more field time with the blower door and duct testing if you are actually planning on doing more of it? When I did HERS rating school, they seem to gloss over that a little bit, but I had the advantage that I was already working for a HERS rating company, and I'd already been in the field a number of times. I didn't even need it. The other students were all asking questions, and I was actually answering them for them because I had already been doing, blower door and duct testing forever. So I can't decide. I'm almost inclined to send you straight to HERS rating school, and then when you're finished with it, if you feel like you wanted more of an in-depth, you could do RFI or modeling after. I've been told that modeling is actually helpful for existing HERS raters because it will give you some tips and tricks that might speed things along. It's just your experience. You're clearly smart enough and motivated enough to do the HERS rating school right out of the gate. It's just a tough call. I'm leaning for you to go straight to HERS. I really am. I would love to have you through the RFI program. I think you're going to find it somewhat basic. Your skills are going to surpass. There's no way you're ever going to be an RFI. You just can't make enough money as an RFI. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. If you want to go do a blower door and duct test every once in a while, that's great. But someone at your skill level and your intelligence, your experience, RFI is not a career for you unless you truly love it and want to take a 50% pay cut. But knowing how to do it, I think you're probably going to do well just straight into HERS. That's my opinion.
Mm-hmm. No, and I think all of this is it's an asset to the team. It's an asset to it's becoming a beacon to others too. It's gonna open a lot of doors, and it hurts us when there are not enough people out there doing it, and that we can get the projected rating and the permits get stuck and everything is stuck, right? Like some clients don't want to even pay the architect until the permit is issued, and if the projected rating is not done, they don't get a permit. So which I don't do that. I don't do a deal like that. That would be horrible to make a deal like if I don't get a permit, I don't pay you. No, but really, it's like a lot of projects are getting clogged out there. Like they're getting stuck right now with this, and understanding the whole HERS rating process. I likely will do a lot of projected rating. Some full HERS rating I will do for certain selected clients I will take care of, and the rest A9 Green can take care of it. It's like, here it is. Send them over there. They'll take care of it. But I will know enough to be able to have an informed conversation, and I will know enough to say this at the very beginning of the project, because now the thing is they're doing it because it's required. They're not doing it because it's embedded in their system, in their processes. So now we're designing a building, we're talking about projected rating from the very beginning, and we're talking about how it's going to perform.
Needed, yeah.
Exactly. So if I don't know enough of the process, then I'll be just another architect that draws pretty pictures. It's like no. I know exactly how this is done, and I've done it. That's what I want to bring.
Yeah, it's being said that energy efficiency isn't an add-on; it's actually baked in. This is not frosting on the cake. This is actually baked into the cake itself. So. And it sounds to me like after you finished, you might actually be a great resource for us at any HERS. I mean, if you've got people that you want to send our way, some of these frontline workers you're talking about, if they want to become RFIs, that would be great. Send them our way. We train them. It doesn't matter what walk of life they come from. We want diversity here as well. Mm-hmm. And we can train them to do blower door duct testing, basics, really basics of energy flow and so on, and send them out. They can be that frontline person, depending on their skills. They can also then use it as a stepping stone to modeler and then to HERS rater.
Yep.
Every individual is different. Some people pick up things faster. Some people are comfortable at RFI. I mean, there are RFI careers.
No,
They
I
don't
think I
pay
think
as
there's
well
gonna
as
be
you're getting paid, but
yeah, there's
they're
gonna
they're
be
okay.
people that will love it as an RFI forever, right? Like they don't know, they don't need to get deep into the concepts and the details and all this. You know what I mean? Like they know how to do that performance, and that's it. And
Right.
you know,
I know plenty of framers out there, but they're not trim guys. They don't want to do baseboard and crown molding, but they'll bang out a house, quickly. It's strong. They follow plans. That's good. And that's where they're comfortable, you know? I framed a house I framed a couple of houses. I also did the trim. I did it all from soup to nuts, but, certain days I liked framing, and then when it was raining, I was like, well, I think I prefer trim work, So, you know how it is. So there are people that are just going to be framers all their life, and they'll be RFIs. And then there are people that want to do trim work, and they'll just be modelers. And then there are people like you that can do the whole thing.
Mhm.
So, yes, please become a rater. Keep us in mind. Send us your people, either your people that work for you right now, or if you know others, framers, insulators, HVAC people, tell them to come over here and we'll take them, train them, and send them right back into the field. You got a YouTube channel? Oh boy. Yeah,
Yeah,
we need to stay in contact with you, Darwin. So
yeah, it's got
Yeah.
25,000 subscribers, so it's going up every day. But yeah,
That's great.
yeah,
Exciting.
yeah. Don't go anywhere. Stick around. You become a valuable member of the Northeast Hers Alliance. So
hope so. And
I'm
knowing that's
excited
in
that you'd like to
Worcester,
become a trainer.
that's like 30 minutes
That's
away from me, probably at most, from Leominster to Worcester for some of the. So it's like,
That's great.
oh, that's awesome.
I do. Does it change now, Betsy, or is it always going to be Worcester now?
It's been Newton or Worcester for this season for 2024, and we will be looking to have it further afield in 2025. We're looking at sites in Vermont, New Hampshire, Connecticut. But things changed with COVID. We had historically done utility sites that would let us use their spaces, and that has changed. They don't let us do those anymore. So we're in the process of figuring out alternate sites. So we found Newton, we found Worcester, but would like to get some. Historically, we would rotate between New Hampshire, Massachusetts, and Connecticut. So
Yeah, I did mine
we're
in
looking to get back
Manchester,
to doing it
New
that way.
Hampshire.
So, all right. So I realize we are well over our 30-minute interview time. I really appreciate you taking time to talk with us, Darwin. And Tim and I will, we're conducting a whole bunch of interviews in the next couple of days, but we will most certainly be in touch sometime soon to talk to you, or, go over next steps for you.
All right.
And it sounds like if you're comfortable going straight to the HERS Rater training, it sounds like that's like the best option at this point, and then we'll go from there.
Will do. Thank you, Betsy.
Yeah,
Thank you, Tim.
It's been a
Thank
pleasure,
you.
Darwin. Yeah, if you want to research it even more hardcore, what an RFI is or a model or whatever, if you feel you want to do one first, I'm not going to tell you otherwise, but I would send you straight to HERS Rating School unless you really want to start out basic level. But anyway,
I think that
think it
in
over.
talking with Bijan, it feels like I should just do the HERS too, because when we talk, at the level that we talk about projects too, it's like, oh, you understand all these different things. So I'm all for it for the full HERS, and see what happens from there. I would love to teach too, because that's what I love teaching. So that would be awesome.
That's huge.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Our overarching goal is to develop a pool of trainers that can teach a bunch of different pieces of this. So that's,
sign me up.
that's great.
I'm all for it.
Good.
All right, Darwin.
Thank you, guys.
Awesome.
We'll stay
right.
in touch. We'll talk.
Well,
Bye.
thanks for taking time. Have a great day.
Thanks.
Bye.